Good morning, good morning. So we're on the inside. This morning we're gonna have a nice discussion. Yes, we have some clips to show you all that took place, news reports during the week. And we know how things going now is mass vaccination all over Trinidad and Tobago and the world at large.
Oh, I'm so city.
I got SPM, baby. I got SPM now. I fais petit temps, baby. I got SPM now. I got SPM, baby. I got SPM now. Wap got SPM, tade. I got SPM now. C'est genre de femme, remè l'argent bon tout là. Toujours à checker, n'est qu'à travail dans l'état. Dans y'aurait mes pouvoirs, dans y'aurait mes ça. Quatre roues motrices, vite des services de l'état. Atia, pas exigeant passé, yo pas souviré, depuis yo pas prado. Dommage, ça yo pas laissé bouillir de l'eau. Si c'est pour manger, ou mettre check up mon resto. I got SPM, baby. I got SPM now. I fais petit temps, baby. I got SPM.
We got burn team. We got calorie counting mountain.
I got SPM now. Give me now. Give me now.
Yes.
Chérie, faut entendre. Let me see you. L'aime fait la jambe, moi fait l'anti. De 7 à 19h, son jour.
Yes. So good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever part of the world you are. Yes, greetings, blessings. So we know a mass vaccination taking place. Yeah, and some persons, were quite hesitant. Some are now going out there to be vaccinated because they are saying vaccinate to operate. We see that they want to touch. They want to vaccinate the children between the ages of 12 to 18, in preparation to return to face-to-face school, the traditional way of face-to-face learning. Yeah? So, Mike, you went and get your first dose, yeah?
Yeah, repeat that question. Morning, everybody. Morning, world. Morning, TNT. Morning, wherever you are. Waking up this morning to the Burn team. Repeat that question.
Ask if you went for your first dose.
If I went for my first dose?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Not yet?
Cool. No, I went by my doctor Monday, so I clear to go. I could do. I can take my vaccine on already.
Okay.
I wanted to do that first. Remember, I diabetic, so I needed to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, Celeste. Good morning.
Morning, everybody.
So
morning, Celeste. Morning, Vivi.
We are talking mass vaccination, right? So during the weekend, they would have said that they are posting the link because we would have received AstraZeneca. We got a donation, a very healthy donation from Canada. And they started rolling that out on Monday. And if you see people all over to get, and then Monday had rain. So it had a lot of persons who went out there to get the AstraZeneca vaccine. They said they want to travel, right? So they went out there, line up, crowd up, real gathering take place. We said that we really wanted to avoid that type of gathering, but persons came out in their numbers, whether it was they made appointments online, whether they call in or they just show up. So some persons tried to walk in. Yeah, so a really a lot of persons. So this we have been the video stating the number of persons who would have signed up online, the statistics, and how many persons really turn out to become vaccinated, right? So we'll be showing you all that in a bit, right? So we have a lot. I mean, I say, well, people really were waiting for this AstraZeneca, but they really can't tell now if they were really waiting for the AstraZeneca or if it is they feel, forced into going to take the vaccine because some persons say it doesn't matter which vaccine it is. It doesn't matter if it's Sinopharm, AstraZeneca, Pfizer. And we know that in Trinidad and Tobago, they are designating the Pfizer vaccine to children between the ages of 12 and 18 years old. Right? So all the people who say they're waiting for Pfizer, they will have a little longer wait unless they are in the Ministry of Education,
Boy,
or
we
they have some
bandwagonist, boy.
complications.
We is bandwagonists in Trinidad and Tobago. Bandwagonists.
Well, we
Yeah,
know
man.
that.
Morning, Sheldon.
Bless the Lord.
What kind of bandwagon? The one with
Why
cow?
know that, boy?
The one with horse? Which one? The
I
one with
don't
goat?
know.
What kind of
I-
bandwagon is?
Oxen and all kind of thing. And
Yeah.
goat and thing.
Nah.
So,
We
yeah,
want a goat. We want a goat.
yeah, we have a clip here, boy.
Yeah,
I
take
doubt
that.
it is my country, because I was watching people on Facebook making some statements.
Uh-huh.
And I saying, well, boy, next thing is protest just now.
Well, that's what they're heading for.
And as this thing start, I watch my little news. So let's keep this clip. Chica, let's take the CD and tell me what let's take
Run
the
it.
way, my
Run it.
country.
Run it.
Over 5,000 people made appointments to receive the AstraZeneca vaccine just hours after the online system was up and running on Sunday. Principal Medical Officer of Institutions, Dr. Miriam Abdul-Richards, says the majority of appointments were made via the online portal ttvaccine.com. The online appointment system and hotline went into effect on Sunday morning, and Dr. Richards says the ministry is pleased with the overwhelming response. The appointment system for the AstraZeneca vaccines was announced by the Ministry of Health on Saturday after receiving 82,500 doses of that vaccine earlier in the week.
High level of vaccine acceptance and a high volume of calls, which suggest that persons are very interested in obtaining the AstraZeneca vaccine. As of 3 p.m. yesterday, there were 5,400 appointments that were made, 4,600 online and 762 at the call centers. This response is again quite heartening given the Ministry of Health's targets for vaccinations.
The announcement of an increased uptake of vaccines comes just a few days after Health Minister Terence Liating announced that the daily rate of vaccinations had dropped significantly when compared to July. He indicated on Saturday that this country should have already reached the 500,000 mark of first-dose vaccinations, but had only reached 415,000 at that time. At least 600 jabs of first-dose AstraZeneca vaccines were administered at the mass vaccination site at the National Academy for Performing Arts, Napa, on Monday. When TTT News visited Napa, there was a steady stream of people lining up and waiting to receive the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, while some returned for the second dose of the Sinopharm vaccine. Chief Operating Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce, Michelle Gonzalez-Sweet, told the TTT News, altogether on Monday, at least 1,200 jabs were administered.
We are pretty much balanced with about an average of 600 as of now of AstraZeneca first dose coming through, and we have an average of 600 of our second dose coming through as well as of now.
Ms. Gonzalez-Sweet said there was a noticeable drop-off of people registering at Napa last week as compared to the numbers seen on the first day of the AstraZeneca jab.
So there is room to believe that there is some people who have been holding out for a different vaccine other than the Sinopharm. But as we all say, and the medical system says, and science says, it's the best vaccine is the one you have.
One person who we spoke to conferred said she was a bit hesitant about taking the vaccine that was previously being offered.
Yes, I was waiting on this particular dose. Because I'm a little skeptical about the Sinopharm. I was not interested in it. So I waited, and now that the AstraZeneca is here, I said, well, I'll get my first jab today.
There were also reports of long lines at the mass vaccination site at the UTT campus in Chagonas and the Racket Center in Tacarigua, which also began administering AstraZeneca first doses on Monday. The Ministry of Health is urging people who received a first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine not to take their second dose as the AstraZeneca. Speaking during the Ministry of Health's update on COVID-19, Principal Medical Officer Dr. Miriam Abdul-Richards reminds that this country has approved mixed doses of the vaccines to be considered a fully vaccinated person. She says the first dose Sinopharm and the second dose AstraZeneca has not been approved by the World Health Organization and advised against this practice.
We, of course, prioritize the safety of our population, and so the CMO would have, and the Ministry of Health would have indicated the relevant policies for the mixing of vaccines. Again, the Ministry of Health does keep records, so we would be able to identify if there is some falsification or false identification with respect to vaccines.
On July 30, the WHO approved the vaccination combination of AstraZeneca and Moderna. This came more than a month after it approved AstraZeneca and Pfizer as an approved mix of vaccines.
Right. So, people, you hear that number?
Listen up. We's real talk, boy. Trinidadian, that's real talk. Real talk, boy. Right? If you're not on a vaccine, then it shouldn't be a brand name that all of a sudden you're ready to jump on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think people getting to realize that it have no really way out of this, but this scenario. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, true. I think again, as we go back when we were talking in earlier programs, that people skeptic about certain vaccines because of what they heard and what they're hearing. So, for instance, this lady, she said she was waiting on the AstraZeneca. She didn't want to take the Sinopharm. Now, remember when the Sinopharm came, it was branded in a different way. You had a lot of negativity because they're saying
why?
Where it came from. So nobody really didn't want to take the Sinopharm. So listen to her.
What's the interesting thing? The interesting thing is nobody going in their hand.
Well,
I can tell all this AstraZeneca. I can tell all this AstraZeneca.
Exactly.
And it's not.
Exactly.
So people have to realize how dumb it is. You trying to say that you waited on AstraZeneca. You don't know what in the vial. I can tell you, look, AstraZeneca doses reach. And I gave you Sinopharm.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because that's no, but you gotta look at it two sides. You gotta remember people like us.
On the inside.
Yeah, morning, Jonathan.
Morning, Kareem.
Z, tell us how long you take to recover after your second dose, because I know Z gets some issues. So Z, I know Z had to get hug up and love up because she wasn't feeling so good. So tell me how long you take to recover, Z, and how you're feeling now. Yeah? Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
Good morning, Candace.
Morning, Candace. So what I'm saying is, we had to balance it because we still have people in society today where I was part of that. But as I do along doing my research, I understand what's going on. But you still have people who, again, I go back to this lady when she talked about she was waiting on the AstraZeneca. Mm-hmm. Now, the reporter didn't ask her why she was waiting on it. Maybe if we did ask her why she chose the AstraZeneca over the Sinopharm, then it might leave a different thinking in the listeners and all those who are looking on at what she was saying. But she never gave a reason.
Well, I like to follow the money. So I know September coming, school had to open and people had to go to work in order to buy books and pay the van and put things in lunch kit. And we know the startup school is be a costly thing. The startup of school is a costly thing. So let me hear what the president of the Merchant Association, she can because people had to work.
Yeah.
It boiling back down to the normal life is people going back to work and being able to do the things they enjoy, whether it be line, party, train, whatever they like to do.
Whatever they like.
Send the child lessons, you know what I mean? The different things we spend money on. I hear a girl saying last night, Mike, she want to go buy Wonderful World. But I for what you're cooking later.
God, boy.
I know that a fashion show started. I can't take this. Right? So we're going to hear what the president of the Merchants Association
Run it.
has to say about the whole thing based upon, employees being employed and that kind of thing. Yeah,
about the shutdown, it is going to be a very different parameter to what we have come through in this second shutdown. It is going to be a calamity for this economy, this country, if we have to shut down a third time.
A warning from the president of the Downtown Owners and Merchants Association, Gregory Aboud, on vaccine hesitancy, as the retail sector is set to reopen on August 16. While everyone has a choice to make, Mr. Aboud said people's decision to refuse the vaccine can put the country at risk.
I think we are heading into a situation in which people, by their choices, which they are demanding the right to choose, which they will have the right to choose. Nobody can't force you. But you also have to understand that you are creating a scenario that is possibly going to isolate you.
He said businesses will continue to impose rules to ensure their safety, and soon many may ask potential employees if they have been vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus before they are employed.
So that almost no business is going to want to hire any new staff if they are unvaccinated. That is certainly a thought for most people who might be looking for a job, who may not have had a job prior to the shutdown and are in a situation now where they will be going out to look for a job that businesses are reopening.
Still, he admitted he is hard-pressed about mandating the alternative, regular PCR testing to employees to ensure their COVID-19 status. He gave credit to the government for wanting to vaccinate the public. Kimberly D'Souza, TTT News.
Good morning.
Right.
Say good morning.
Good morning. Hello.
Granddaughter, say morning.
Morning. She blushing. So we're seeing that they're saying it was the worst. I got migraines and fever. I took 4 days to recover, but she's feeling better, a lot better now. So that's good that she's feeling a lot better now.
But
everybody
the thing is,
really had.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know somebody too who literally got some of those symptoms and he recovered. I think, and Sri Lanka back up with this one. Where you gone? You gone? And you know, Shika.
Yeah.
People with commodities have to really be truthful. Remember we spoke about it. When you go by a doctor, you need to let a doctor. That's why I went my mind. So, and I don't collect with my health at all. So the fact that some of us may have ailments that is not life-threatening, because like diabetes, especially type 2, is not life-threatening unless you're taking care of it. And I've been taking care of mine for years. Now, we need to be honest when we go by our doctors, right? Because he was telling me before he took the vaccine, he hesitated to say certain things to his doctor before he took the vaccine. Until eventually, while talking, he had was to tell him some of the ailments. And the doctor had was to break it down and say, well, listen, you can't take the vaccine because you have been living with this ailment for years. You have been taking all different type of medications, right? And because of the virus now and taking a jab, it wouldn't make any difference. And he took it. I think he only got like some diarrhea, he got headache, and that was it.
Okay.
But some people have different
symptoms.
Like some people get wild. Some people want to go some people want to go wonderful world. I don't know if that have a side effect in the vaccine.
Would they go and wander the world for?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a fashion show.
Chica, you went wander the world?
So
I didn't go in. Right now, Wonderful World is closed. They shall reopen on Monday.
You know that the young people, school starting and, they have the Pfizer inside for the young people, right? We will touch on that. But Chica, what do you think about what Aboud said, Mr. Aboud?
Yes, I mean, people not recognizing how serious it is, because if it is, one, the employers want to protect themselves because they don't want anybody coming and say, well, I came out to work. So even people just thinking about businessmen wanting to make money, businessmen and businesswomen. right? But beside that fact, they want to protect themselves because when it is the employee come, nah, I don't want a vaccine. And when they go to work now, they get COVID, maybe, and they're thinking they at work, right? They might want to sue the company because they get COVID on
Yeah,
work.
that
You know,
was
it
the
could be shit up.
litigation. That is what the
Yeah.
businessmen, the president of the business scenario merchant association is trying to protect the companies against a lot of litigations because people like to make easy
Yeah.
money. Right?
Yes.
When the comment section stating we had a very kind of disclaimer here.
Pull back. Yes. So we have Upright, aka Trevor G, and all the different names.
Disclaimer.
The whole world has been deceived by the inorganic corrupted ones, yet the organic, untouched, unpolluted ones will remain to live on. That is the words of Upright Trevor G. She is saying she's now scared because her two boys have to take the vaccine and she has a son who is diabetic. So her boys are over 12. So remember, the children who will be vaccinated are those between the ages of 12 and 18 years old, right? So those are the ones you may see in secondary school, those in standard 5, moving on. Those who are, as heard that the Minister of Health would have said that even the first year tertiary education students as well may fall into that bracket. And side note, parents, not because your child is allowed to take the Pfizer, please know that you cannot use the link to make appointments for yourself or any other family member. It is for your child. To make sure and put that note out there.
Yeah. So we right now is at the vaccination site in Nagar, and she say from whole week is madness. The place full all this morning, so she had to go because the place ram. I ain't know about this AstraZeneca. Like it's a party.
Let me get a shot of the video now. We bring it live.
She can't bring it live. We're breaking confidentiality.
I know.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. I don't know. Right? So, Mike, what do you think about Mr. Abood and what he said concerning the Merchants Association of Trinidad and Tobago?
No, you have to remember something. These people are businessmen. So, for their business to survive, they must have people coming to shop.
Correct.
I remember he made a comment sometime earlier. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I'm wondering if he's going back on some of his words because I think a month ago or so, he did an interview where he said, I might be wrong, but I think that's what I heard. They want to open the business. And what he was saying, that some of his business colleagues would not force employees to take the vaccine. It's their choice. But he would advise that they follow all protocols. Now, there's something that's happening because I just dealt with it even with my son and his job, where they were asking that you do the PCR test every 2 weeks. Now, if you're making a certain amount of money every month and you have to do a PCR test every 2 weeks and you have to wait on those results 2 weeks, how much production and how much work you would get in that job place? So I don't know if
that would be your
business,
choice.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, the owner have the ability to make that statement.
No, again, correct. Because
so if you don't like it, what they're trying to tell you, but they're not telling you, because I like brass tacks, I the blunt instrument. I is a blunt instrument. What they're telling you, if you don't like it, find the next one.
Right. So let me get deeper. When you follow the OSHA Act, because I study OSHA, study health and safety as for my job and stuff. When you look at how it is, boy, there's nothing in the OSHA Act talk about diseases, right?
No. Yes, the OSHA Act, in OSHA, they have that the employer is liable.
Right. So what I'm saying, what I'm getting to,
his employee and customers as he see fit. That
right.
In the OSHA.
That's why.
We're going to give here a gentleman who represents human resource for Trinidad and Tobago. We have a clip So I feel I'll go to that clip as you reach on that before
Yeah,
we
go
go
ahead.
to the youth sound then. So
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
you will get it from the horse's mouth. We are speculating here. We want to
Go
get
ahead,
the
run it.
information straight. So whoever looking at this live, note to self, we are not speculating based on our own information. This is the information
Yeah,
that has been brought forth
and
to the people via the sources
right.
that govern
So
us.
so before you run that clip, let's put a disclaimer to what the three of us saying and anybody
Yeah.
who come on the live. No, it's serious. Yeah, go ahead.
Right? We're going to take it in now.
Pandemics and getting vaccinated to work are the new normal. That's the word coming from some of TNT's top human resource managers. Here's more from Terry Ann Brown Campbell.
Tired of online events, social distancing, and wearing masks? Well, you might as well get used to it because change is not on the horizon. Vice President of Human Resources at the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Jonathan Comerbach, says we are living in the new normal and COVID-19 is merely the beginning.
The vectors remain very much in play for further pandemics to occur and for governments to take the necessary, what is going on, why everyone does lockdowns, etc. These are agreed steps to be taken internationally to ensure that any viral outbreaks are not exacerbated.
Mr. Comerbach notes that COVID-19 is a mutation of the H1N1 virus, which has been around for several years.
You've just been watching this thing just coming and going and growing in terms of its effectiveness and its reach, and here we are, and it's already, of course, mutating beyond a COVID-19. Thus, the various titles being put to it.
Meanwhile, another HR professional outlines what the new normal will mean for employees.
Now, any new employee must be vaccinated. It's going to be mandatory for all new hires. Right? I'm saying it unequivocally. Anybody who wants to join our team has to be vaccinated, and we have to have proof of the vaccination. And that's going to be the new reality.
Ms. Quentrell Thomas adds that her clients, especially those in the energy sector, are already demanding that employees be vaccinated to work on their projects. The HR professionals were speaking during a panel discussion hosted by the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce on Thursday. Terry Ann Brown Campbell, TTT News.
That
last fact.
No,
So when
you hear what she said? Unequivocally. Right? So for them and those, what they hear what the lady say? And that's the biggest boys in the human resource. So people like to talk law and human resource and all the them people. Right? So let us not speculate. Let us not sit down now and speculate. These are the people in the upper echelons of the society that in the human resource and in the legalities. So we just talking. We had to stop this set of talk on Facebook, and we have nothing back in it. And everybody jumping on and like and love and talking rubbish. You know what she said? Unequivocally. Mike, what you had to say about that, you know?
I listen. I have my views, you know, but I'm not gonna say it here. I have my views, but I understand what they're saying. Now, again, laws, everything that is governing all of this, the laws of the land, we have to follow. But I have my views, so I'm not gonna share my views here unless I put a big disclaimer. But I understand what they're saying. I understand what they're saying.
On what was said.
I recognize that persons, as she said, that last statement in particular, where their clients are asking that the employees be vaccinated as they do not want them to handle their project or any type of business that they want to do. And that's what it's going to come down to. There are going to be a lot of persons who are asking that when they go into a place, they want to feel safe, you know. So like even when it's time to return to school, parents are going to ask teachers, even though they may not want to get vaccinated, they still want to protect their child. So they may either say that my child stay home or the teacher be vaccinated.
Right? Don't need parents and they may want the child stay home not one day longer.
Right? So you're saying there's a divide actually. Some saying yes, some saying no, some so it's gonna always have that for whatever reason.
Well, she kept people
Divide.
saying, but the actions not lining up with what they
Well, the
say.
actions are not lining
Because
up
if
because
you
when
see on
persons
people, you
yeah.
see the
Yeah,
numbers in
see,
this week.
yes, I saw the
So people
numbers.
saying things and having views, but they're not doing what. If I saying that I am not doing something, I am not doing it. Right? That is it. I'm not saying I'm not doing it yesterday, and
And
then
then
next six
tomorrow.
months I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We bandwagon is a trailer. We have plenty mouth. We talk, real talk, and then after that we'll be out down like a balloon when you're like go the air. So school is coming up on us for those who have children and nephews and little sisters and brothers and kids and bigger kids. Yeah. So we go in and see where's the policy. So parents I realize Trinidadians have plenty money because the people who saying they let the child take nothing, they have to pay
Yeah,
private school and private
homeschool, like
everything
that.
online.
Yeah.
So we go in and
Mm-hmm.
see what's going on in September. Yeah.
Plans to roll out the Pfizer vaccine for the nation's students will be revealed in the coming days. 305,000 to 370 doses of the WHO-approved Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine landed at the Pianco International Airport on Thursday morning. Minister of Health Terence Liansing explained there are logistical challenges as the Pfizer jabs have to be stored at minus 70 degrees and must be allowed to thaw before use.
They have to be transferred to a minus 20 environment for 2 days. Then once it has been thawed at minus 20 for 2 days and they come down to a liquid form, you have 30 days to keep it at 2 to 8 degrees to use them out.
Liansing said the Ministry of Health will be partnering with UNICEF and the Ministry of Education to assist parents in making informed decisions towards consenting to have their children vaccinated.
Will be used almost exclusively for our 12 to 18 cohort, that is secondary school, and some in first year university, because it is the only one that we have for that age cohort. And what you have noticed worldwide with the Delta variant, it tends to attack children a lot more.
And once the Ministry of Education gives the all clear, the Pfizer jabs could be in arms as early as next week.
I've been having ongoing conversations with my colleague, Minister Nyan Gatsby Dolly. Today there's a technical meeting between health and education. If all goes well, we want to start administering these vaccines next week, early next week, once the Ministry of Education gives us the go-ahead.
Minister Liansing said alternate vaccination sites will be set up to administer the Pfizer vaccines as there will be a need to accommodate parents and their children.
Just touched down in at the airport.
DHL got a big thing there, boy.
Man. Morning. So it's Burn Team TV alongside Radio IRTT morning show.
Hey, next time, don't get that aircraft no blyer.
So some people talking about the second dose. Z had a little issue, and I know he was in contact with Z. Some people want to go Wonderful World. I don't know how the second dose are you wanting to go Wonderful World. Some other persons was wild and frisky. I don't know what that means. And
Wild and frisky?
Wild and frisky. I don't know tell you wild and frisky. I don't know. So
wild and
maybe it have a positive when coming to certain aspects of because clearly some people having fun, more fun than when they didn't get the jab. So we wait the pros and cons.
I can't understand. We wonderful world
coming all of this. I don't understand it. I am presenting the information.
We wonderful world coming all of this.
I don't know. Wild and frisky.
I heard some persons would have said that their underwears now have holes in it.
I hear about fashion show and all kind of thing.
So what the women? We don't have holes too? We have holes every jaws?
I don't know. Some side effects different than some. I want to know, Chica. Right. So you laugh and take the cry for, right? So there we have it.
Yeah. And you
For
see that they're actually
university,
going,
Chica, what
yeah.
vaccinations when you went to UAE? Were you issued any new vaccinations when you were entering
Yeah,
UAE?
they wanted to make sure that all you have everything it's tetanus because
Mhm.
depending on the type of degree that you may be doing and even persons who may be doing a lot of field work, they want to make sure that their students are protected. So that would have been the reason for making sure that your immunization can remember some of the vaccine after like let's say 10 years it
Yeah.
like expires so you need to go for another shot,
So
right? So that
normally
would
in
have been the
UAE is a
reason.
top up. You top up your
Yeah, it's
vaccination
a
based
top
upon
up.
how long. So it's nothing
Yeah,
new, right?
no, it isn't.
It is not really new. Yeah.
No, it
So
isn't.
now all the persons who attending UAE and had the issues with the vaccine, so they're going and stop doing the degree. I don't know,
No,
Imagine you
I
get a nice
well, they didn't.
scholarship.
Oh, you mean they're going to
Your
stop
mother them
degree?
work hard, Mike.
They're
Your
going to
mother and
stop
father work
degree?
hard. You went to school, you learn your work. You get a scholarship, right?
Yeah.
And they tell you to take the choke and you want the scholarship because you had to take the choke after all our work. I don't know now,
Well,
boy.
again, we go back to the fact that where we still have the fact that people still,
Hesitant.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
especially when it comes to that aspect of studies. My daughter did law, and she just took the vaccine. She was
Yeah.
hesitant.
Yeah.
They didn't. It's not like the pressure her
Mike,
because she working in one of the government agencies. So
Mike
it's not like
and
the
Chica.
pressure her to take it, but
Mike and Chica.
because she going on
95% of our doctors vaccinated.
rain.
And only for yesterday they would have said 50%. They finally reached to 50% with the nurses. And
What I'm, no, but what I'm saying,
hope.
Mike, what I'm saying, Chica, is that our doctors, right? Our doctors' percentage of vaccination is higher than the
Yeah,
whole
it's
country.
high.
So I would
Yeah.
say, if the doctors and them was saying, why not me,
It would have been a different story. Then there's no self questioning,
You understand?
but why the doctors,
Mike,
the ones
if the
who are out
doctors and
there?
them did say, I ain't going to wonderful world, I ain't what I want and frisky thing, right? If the doctor's percentage was low, I would have said, well, boy, like them boy know something we ain't know, boy.
Well,
yeah.
Mike, we doctors in the country, the percentage is higher than the whole country.
Well, you have to remember. Yeah, but then too, Shalon.
So if it was an issue, you being a doctor, you and your colleagues and all this sit up, boy, not me, we don't do the research and
but then you remember,
and Mike, and they
that
could stay
is
private.
one.
So a
but
doctor could have said he ain't work in public.
Yeah,
and
but
keep practice private.
But you have to
and still
remember.
make the money.
But then again, you have to remember too that sector is one of the most highly, how to say it, in emergency purposes. Because even in the UK they did the same thing, where remember I was telling you that. So they can't budge. They can't budge. They have
So
to
why
take
the nurses? Why the nurses are budging? That's the question. If the doctors
Good question.
Good question.
Right?
Good question.
Mike,
Maybe we need to get a nurse.
Maybe
we need to get a nurse and ask.
If I was working, I have nurse who is friend. I could call Abby.
Yeah, nurse who is family.
Not this Abby. My Abby from Trinidad.
Yeah.
My sister is running Augustus long, Mike. My sister running Augustus long, for COVID, I only understand that, so I ain't getting it from no source way. I'm saying. My sister were running, my sister running Augustus long. And then my aunt is from England. She was a head nurse in England. She's in Trinidad. She wanted the HIV awareness in South District.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't talking from a place.
The question have to be asked, as Shika said.
I find it
why are some of the nurses hesitating?
Fair.
You know.
I say fair.
You think it's fair? You think it's fair?
I feel it's fair.
It is fair.
It is fair because the doctors taking it. They're frightened. Why did it's fair? So that was the scenario with going to school. So Chika, what you think would be the onset now. Because if we say, I again my child that now, the child is going to school then.
Well, for now, as we would have said, is that they are telling the citizens that it is voluntary, right? For now, it is voluntary. And because of the Delta variant, as the Minister of Health rightfully stated, that a lot of children are being infected by this Delta variant, as we would have seen in the US. First day of school, our parents send their child to school and they will sick, and then it's the whole population now being infected.
People,
and it's
want to,
spreading faster, spreading like wildfire.
people don't understand how contagious it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Measles, Mike. If you have measles and you stand up on High Street by Courts, you take a taxi and you're on your way home. 2 hours after, where you were standing up, that measles floating in the atmosphere, you know. So any virus that have that kind of contagion, the minute school open, and your people ain't understanding it. The minute school open and your immune system is not readily protected, that first week of school, if your immune system is not ready, you're in the ICU. Our people understand this. It's easy to have these discussions because we was locked down. We get so accustomed lockdown. We are circulating. One person stand up in the road with measles and leave. That measles in the air for 2 hours. If you're likening the Delta onto that, when them children meet in school, no matter how much social distance, and they start to go back home, that first week of school or there, all you better know, all you do it.
Oh, God. Right? So what I'm saying is that we need to, people will talking, I don't want my child. And then it have cases where there are children who would like to take the vaccine. They have no problem with taking the vaccine, but their parents are the one who say, no, I do not want my child to be any lab rat. I don't want my child to be any experiment. No, and then there are some.
If it is on the second dose, they want to experiment by wonderful world, Mike. Well, we experimented long time.
I still can't understand that wonderful world scenario. I still can't understand that.
But time will tell, eh? Yeah. Time will tell on Monday. Time will tell, because when people say, I ain't taking no vaccine, I ain't care which one it is, I ain't taking it. All of a sudden, you line up for AstraZeneca.
But they line up whole week this week. You see what going on in Inanga?
Yeah, I see what went on all over, right? Social analysis is, and normally the first 2 weeks of school is the circulation period for illnesses. You find the first week where the kids, then the second week are the teachers. Right? So anything could, and the city Delta spreading real fast, it is highly contagious.
People understand that likeness to the measles. That's why I made that statement. One person with measles standing in one spot, when they leave 2 hours after the measles is there. So I want people to understand, when school open back and they start to travel and meet their friend and everybody meet everybody and they go back home, persons need to weigh and measure. It's a role of what is like this. I just manage risk. I like risk management. What risk you want to take? What risk you think? You are rolling dice on COVID, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you want to come like you're playing a game. You want roll that dice, right? I mean, you don't know what will happen with you personally if you end up in IC.
Exactly.
People talking for persons. Let me talk for myself now. You want to take the chance, but you want to roll the dice. All right, whatever happen, you know, Trinidad, that's like to say that. But you really want to take that risk? We never really see a strong virus in the country and how ruthless it could be. You really want to roll the dice with that? Like, you really want it? I mean, the risk, it could weigh the risks, you know, everything is a risk. When you're taking a tetanus injection, That is a risk. It have side effects, the tetanus shot.
Exactly.
It have the side effects from measles.
Every
What
single
risk
shot.
you're thinking, what risk you rather? You know what happen if you get tetanus and you don't have the injection. And you know what could happen if you have measles. So you're going to risk the measles then. If you understand
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
some people went as far as saying let their child die by natural causes. Right? Now, people, as Lion saying, risk. It come like you go down the road, you're going and cross, or you're walking on the pavement, and just so. It's a risk. Everything you do is really a risk because you're
Just
walking,
managing risks.
somebody lose control of
Yeah,
their
yeah.
vehicle and bounce you down, or they're trying to avoid bouncing somebody else down, and you end up being. So, what do you want? Do you want to protect yourself, and how it will be? What is really, is it better to take the vaccine and manage your risk instead of getting the actual virus itself?
And rolling the dice.
And then,
remember, it on no
yeah,
bed.
do you want
Mike,
a 6
remember
or do
we
you
had no
want
bed.
a 1?
On a normal given day, on an average day, on an average day, in your we have no bed. Right?
Exactly.
All you know, the hospital not full. We are in the States, you know. So you're running the risk of ending up on the bed with we have no bed, for sure. So you ain't sure to get a bed. They might tell you, well, you got to stay home and fight the war. You have no ventilator home. You're not well equipped enough to say, well, I have a Medicare home. I could make a phone call and I could get a ventilator and this one to come and see about me and hire 2 nurses and a doctor. Remember, the staffing for you is 3 persons. The staff will be 2 nurses, 1 in the day, 1 in the night, and a doctor to oversee the situation
if you're
every
lucky to
4
get,
hours.
if you're lucky to get a nurse.
So we understand something. Let me weigh now. We weigh now. We ain't forcing nobody. We just talking and we weigh.
Yeah.
Let me say you roll the dice. You say, boy, I can handle it. 1, you short to get a bed. 2, them nurses and them tired. They fed up all you. Right? Them nurses and them have to go home. Them nurses working shift. 1 critical patient on a ward need 2 nurses, 1 in the day, 1 in the night, and a doctor to supervise your medication and monitor you and see how you're going. That's 1 person. You really want to take that risk in Trinidad? As Mike say, not in the UK, you know. You're not in New York, you know.
Yeah.
That is my reality. I not in no country where it had this big, vast medical team where I could show up if I fall and I have a little team here. Remember, we in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
We in Trinidad. We're not in New York. We're not
No.
in England. We're not in Canada.
You think if our I'm not bashing it, but you think if people had a little more respect for the health system and more trust, we might have a different mental thinking when
I
it comes
think
to the
the
vaccine.
respect is based upon we have the volume, Mike.
Yeah, we don't have the volume.
We don't have the volume.
Yeah,
if
correct.
1 person, the care for 1 on there, the care for 1 is a nurse in the day, a nurse in the night, 2 shifts, and a doctor to monitor you and make sure you come out of this thing alive. That is 1 person in ICU. We don't have enough doctors for that kind of vibration. That is why they're pressing you, you know. They're pressing you because some people might get a call and say, hey, you got to stay home, you know, because we have no room.
Yeah. But
we in Trinidad.
But it happened? It happened?
Yeah, we in Trinidad. Imagine you can't breathe good. You're reaching casualty. Here what they do is telling you, well, all you'll be full, you know.
Yes.
Tell the ambulance carrier back home. I want to let that go through all your brain a little bit. All you want to roll the dice with that kind of thing, boy. We in Trinidad, we don't have enough doctors. We don't have enough nurses. We be borrowing nurses from all about the place.
Cuba.
Right?
Barbados.
Let me be real. You die the dice you want to roll on your child? Worse for pediatric, Mike. Worse if it's pediatric. We're talking general nursing staff for adults. We don't even have that kind of backing for that age bracket. It could be even more. It's a strain on the system, of the healthcare system. Remember, it's human beings working, you know. It's not robots.
Then you have to remember. This is my comments, not the comments of Boone Team and me, Mike Demen. Then we have to remember, when it comes to our health sector, it has always been deteriorating over the years. And whether it was COVID or not, we should have things in place for emergency purposes, which we never did. You see, in Trinidad and Tobago, we take everything for granted, Sherlon and Shamika, and you know that. We take everything for granted. This virus was a big hit for Trinidad and Tobago because why? We wasn't prepared to the point where we didn't have the system to handle it. Let's say a disaster take place in Trinidad, not calling knock on wood. Let's say something like that happen. Are we really ready to handle something like that?
No, we're ready for that.
Exactly.
Because we work with disaster management. And when I watch the plan, and I see plenty people there. But what I'm saying is that no country wasn't prepared enough. If you watch the countries, the big countries of the world, them was skipping it.
This I tell you, even when I was in the UK, it was headache. Because even the hospitals,
but what I am saying now to the person,
stay home.
I talking to the one. I ain't talking to the masses. People like to talk to masses. I talking to the one. Are you willing to roll the dice, knowing the healthcare system we have, the strain it is under, right?
Take a chance.
Knowing that the staff low, knowing you mightn't get a bed, knowing they might tell you, boy, you gotta go back home and fight that war,
Yeah.
You want to risk all that for you and your loved ones because you want to be stubborn in your ways and stand up and say, well, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that because of whatever mystical reason you have in your head. That making rational sense. That is why the president. Chika, what is your view?
Yeah, because the next thing I will have to say is speaking to persons. Think about your health. If it is you really think you care about your health, persons, they're talking about all the human rights. You don't want to be the one that denying your own self, your right to know. And that is what I see going on right now. You say you have the right to health, care, and all of that. That is what the vaccine is about. That's your right to health care. And it is in Trinidad. Remember, we're talking about the health system. Remember, it is considered free. When you go out there, you have to make sure you have insurance. If it is you don't have the insurance, you get no bed. Right? We really take things for granted here. And people always go to the hospital for all kind of minor things and they can't have no bed. That time is something that they could have dealt with at home. We need to take care of ourselves and stop blaming and saying the health system and this, that, and the other. We have to take responsibility for our actions. We need to stop blaming this. If it is we do our part, the system will not be under so much stress. Not because it have doctors, like people when it is, they throw all the bottles down the drain and say, well, it's have people to clean up. When we throw all sorts of things that affect our system negatively, we eat all the bad food, we enter the vaccine, and then when you enter the vaccine and you get real sick and you're in ICU or HCU, not even an HCU, we're doing HCU now.
Hey,
when they put in the 1 foot in the grave.
But you're balling OHCU, ICU, but you're not saying HW or WH. Yeah, but what you saying?
1 foot in the grave.
No,
but is the bacchanal section to realize when they try to choke the bacchanal.
Anyhow, what coming up? Follow up on this program. What coming up later?
Boy, real bacchanal.
So later, yes, really, we talking later. So later, we talking serious.
So let me talk about 5:30. What's going on in 5:30?
Right. So yes, later this evening, the topic for the effects of COVID-19 on the family, the blueprint. The topic is vaccinate to operate. Right? It may seem quite a bit controversial.
It's a bacchanal COVID effect
right?
on the family.
But this is what we are. It is affecting the family because when you're thinking about parents needing to vaccinate, now they include children, secondary school children, those who are between the ages of 12 and 18 years old. Right, it is affecting the family, the decisions that they have to make, whether persons are really staying holding that bond together between the vaccinated and it has so many effects. So we are going to be talking about that vaccinate to operate this evening on the effects of COVID-19 on the family. It is affecting, this is affecting the family. People might be like, no, whatever, seem controversial, but no. This whole vaccination process, this is part of COVID-19. So it is affecting families right now.
So at 11 is the Bacchanal section.
Yes.
11 is Bacchanal. Mike, brace yourself. The hot seat. Brace yourself because your girl who does come up with these mad hot seat questions, but she walking now, but
there she come.
That is the person that you gotta blame for the questions being asked.
Me.
At 11. So you can take you out with some music and people all brace on yourself. Mike will be in the hot seat to start. And it's real comments. This was the morning show. Radio Ivy PP, Burn Team TV, Chica J on the top. Remember is the effects of COVID on the family, the blueprint at 5 and 11 is Bacchanal time.
Now I hope that person who answering them questions, she breaks in for my choice of words. Right? So people, join us at 11. We'll be back with us at our Bacchanal. I think I'll be half naked on the live today. Be gone.
This is Iggy Riri from Basic Unconventional Raw Nutrition inviting you to Sweaty Soca Sunday with your girl Chica J. You don't know.